Previously in X-Men. After many recent encounters with the intergalactic Shi'ar Empire and the various power plays and coups to control the Imperial throne, the earthly superhero team of the X-Men were dining at the farewell banquet for Magistrix Lilandra when they were ambushed by her nefarious sister, Deathbird, and the mysterious insectoid species known as the BROOD. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of 7 Comics. Welcome to episode 77 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic, as we read Uncanny X-Men 162 by Claremont, Cockrum, and Wiacek. Cover date of October 1982. How are you, sir?
Doing well. You said issue 77. We are the Ray Bork of previously in X-Men.
The Paul Coffey.
Was Coffey 77?
I think he wore 77 when he went to that.
I want to say Bork was 77, right?
Bork was because right. Espo was 7.
Right. So it's the same thing with Gretzky and Howe, right?
Well, they weren't teammates.
No, but he's 99 because it's like in reference to Howe's 9, right?
Well, sure.
Hey, we're talking hockey because we're hockey fans. And
yeah, it's a little bit on my mind.
Our hockey team won. That hockey team being the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes. Yeah, I'm super excited about all that. And it's going to be hard sitting on my hands until Thursday. I want to get that game going. I want to see that those guys win. It's really fun being a part of, a positive feeling. And, this team has been so good. They're really good, and they have been really good for a while. And it's hard to get over that other hump. And even though they've been sometimes the better team in certain respects, it's really what it comes down to is who wins those games. Yeah. So it's exciting to have a fresh start each year and come at those games and see if they can do it. And I totally believe they can. So tons of fun.
And we are currently releasing a little mini comic about our love for the Leafs. And we did release page 2 yesterday before the game. We're not saying that our comic inspired the team to win game 4, but we're not saying that our comic.
Well, Matthews flat out says here,
what does he say?
He will lead the team to greatness.
Will lead the team to greatness. And what did he do in the third period?
He led the team to greatness.
I mean, look. Are we tapped into something beyond our maybe? I'm not sure. But hey, you know what? If you want to know more about that comic, go check out our socials at Group of 7 Comics. It's called In the Rafters, a ghost story.
Yes, and there are 2 more pages coming. Tons of fun. And in the chat, I see our friend Anthony is there. Anthony, how are you? He says, "Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here for the Brood and also to express, go, please go." Yeah,
yes.
It's so much fun, Anthony.
So much fun.
It is. I was thinking about the upcoming May the 4th.
Next week.
Star Wars Day, and our friend Kevin from Toying Around, he's hosting another get together at the Off-World Lounge. This downtown thing. I was there after Toronto Comic Con with him and his gang, and hanging out there. And some of them were getting dressed up for Star Wars, like cosplay. I was like, I don't cosplay. And I'm like, no, I totally do. I cosplay as a hockey guy. Like, it's still, middle-aged men dressing up in little kids' clothes and these hockey jerseys trying to be a big boy.
I'm part of the team, too.
Yes, exactly. I want to be a Gretzky when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's, I totally cosplay just as a Leafs. So it's too funny. Anyway, but...
Nice.
Yeah, there's so much fun stuff going on. I'm super excited.
So much fun.
X-Men. What are you? You're doing something with your face there? Are you trying to say something?
Well, I was just going to say other fun stuff going on for
Please.
everybody out there. So we are in week 2 of our Crowdfundr, which is we are printing a new printing of our graphic novel Group of 7: A Most Secret Tale, because basically sold out. So there's a
True.
few certainly out there, and I can absolutely say both Anthony and Graydon, evening Graydon, you both have supported this crowdfunder, so thank you both very much. So anyone out there who's looking to support us and maybe pick up some cool books or some interesting product or some neat little fun things along the way, including our Peregrines comics that Jason has right there. We've got individual comics. We've got 4-packs. We've got digital comics. It's all there. Crowdfundr. The links are on all our socials. Group of 7 Comics. If you are keen, you want to support us, support our work, check it out. And it's been really great so far. We are currently sitting at 69%. There's that number of our fundraising goal, which is really incredible after a week and a half. So we are so thankful for that. So anyway, hey, that's that information. And I guess if you want to find us this week coming up, and you're in Toronto, we'll be hanging out in Toronto Comic Arts Festival.
Yes, we'll be at TCAF. If you look for this and you look for that, we'll be walking around the whole time. I'm still debating whether or not I should, over the next couple of days, promote the crap out of being there. And I was thinking of this idea. I was brainstorming with my clever sister-in-law and wife, my wife. And they were talking about, why don't, maybe like bring a limited amount of comics, publicize it ahead of time. And if you buy I don't know, the last couple copies of the trade or this many issues, there's a free coffee from Balzac's. Like get some gift cards, throw them in there. And then have some people track us down if they're like the first 5 people get these free coffees or something to make it a little more fun. I thought I'd bring maybe some Batman art too, some the stuff from Battober. But I just have to shift gears and do a little bit of quick social media PR. I've been a little bit distracted. My dog got fixed today, and he's recovering, and it's like, I just want to go honestly right now, leave this, go lie on the floor with my dog and just pet him.
He's got a cone on?
He's wearing the cone, and he's just lying there like all doped up, and not a fun.
Didn't get the chance. You didn't even get the chance. He's like, nope.
No, but the rest of the family can take care of him anyway. Yeah, it's okay. It's their turn. Let's say. David Cutler says, "Evening, guys. May the best hockey smiths win." I agree.
Thank you, David, for supporting the crowdfunder. By the way, thank you, David.
Man, we have the best supporters. It's super sweet. So, Chris, do you want to talk X-Men?
Oh, I suppose we should. I mean,
I'm going to share
theme show.
I'm going to share the Mike Mignola cover that I enjoyed so much from this. As you and I are prone to doing.
Yes.
Let's just full screen that thing, just so I don't like seeing all the extra Michigas, as we would say. There you go. So, right, Dave Cockrum does one thing, and Mike Mignola does another 10 years later, 9 years later. There are some commonalities between the two covers. Mignola just says, he's fighting a space lobster. Like going for that crazy red is pretty dramatic, and then the green blood really pops off the red. So nice coloring choices, which he may or may not have had notes on. But I imagine the black and white of this is even just gorgeous. Yeah, he's just composition, everything beautiful. Yeah, I want to find all these issues just to get them for the Mignola covers, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
but I also would love to assemble a book of Mignola's cover art at Marvel in this time period. All those covers just in one book. Just flip through it every few days for some inspiration and just like an art gallery piece. So nice. Yeah, there you go. Trevor says, "Hello, X-Dudes. Hey, Trevor, how are you? Hope you're doing well."
Wolverine is eating at the Red Lobster tonight. All you can eat.
Oh, interesting. We got a new view from you.
Wait a minute. Wait a darn minute.
So when I was putting these issues There you go. When I was putting this together for a thumbnail for this episode today, I just couldn't stand the purple next to the reds and blue of the other one, so I just color changed. I just took out one color and put another color in. Made a couple changes also to its eyes. These colors I find them really garish, although they pop. Right, you get the purple and yellow, but I don't necessarily think those help tell the story. But Wolverine's the main feature on both covers, which is odd for a Dave Cockrum. But now that you know, you and I have read the story, it's totally appropriate.
Perhaps Cockrum has, warmed to our friend Wolverine over the last little bit.
Perhaps. Grado says, never appreciated Mignola as a younger comics lover, but this is great. I also wasn't sure what to make of him, Graydon. I mean, I've said before, I came across the Mignola stuff probably first in a couple issues of Alpha Flight where, I didn't think the drawings were what I wanted.
Right.
But I also couldn't stop looking at the covers he did, and I redrew a lot of his figures because there was something about them that I really was drawn toward. And then Gotham by Gaslight in 88, I read that thing over and over again, and also I didn't know why I couldn't stop looking at it. I didn't think his figures were rendered enough. They felt, to speak in you and I in our parlance, like they felt demo-ish, like an incomplete recording. But there's something really great about those things that are fast and loose that look like they could have more to them, but they don't necessarily need it. So his stuff I was drawn to, but didn't know that I liked it. And now intellectually I find it fantastic. But I really can't stop looking at as much Mignola as I possibly can.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate that I came up. Did I mention this last time?
I don't know.
That I was gifted some Mignola artist edition stuff.
Oh.
Did I tell you, Chris?
I don't know if you did. And yes, Trevor, I agree with you. Those cheesy biscuits are delightful at Redbox.
Cheesy biscuits.
Got a box. I can just make it at home.
I'll just put this one up there. I'm just bragging.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you did mention that one. Yeah, I just don't.
The Amazing Screw-On Head.
Yeah. Yes.
Huge book. That's bigger than my Screw-On Head. 2
Jason head size large.
So that's scans of original art, and then the other one is at my bedside. I got Hellboy in Hell Artisan Edition. He's still larger than whatever size, but Artisan, just unbelievable.
Find something like that.
Looks like something in Wolverine's Speedos is steaming. Well, yeah, for sure. Let's find out what it is.
You got something cooking.
Graydon says of Mignola, I'm assuming he's like punk rock in an era when I was enjoying pop.
Sure.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. For sure.
Like you got Britney Spears on, but Blink 182 is playing in the background.
What? Two
real pop and punk icons right there. Nope. Oh, all right.
You're the worst. Pretty much. So I know you're reading it obviously in the digital format on the DVD-ROM. I am now on to the next volume of X-Men Essentials.
Which number is this?
4.
We're number 4?
Yeah, we've been chucking through these things.
It's amazing.
And or chugging through these things. And when I saw this cover for volume 4, I was immediately struck with a feeling of hope. It's no secret I'm not enjoying. I don't really enjoy Dave Cockrum's drawings. Right. I don't enjoy his storytelling as much as what came before and what will come after. So this particular cover by Paul Smith is, it's a classic and started the trope, I guess, of Wolverine crouched down running with claws out. Like that.
Oh, really? Is that okay?
Like the Art of Adam stuff is all. Yeah. This is sort of the visual origin of all of it. So I know that we're
is that Rogue behind it?
It is. It's coming. It's coming. It's kind of exciting to get there. So I'm
That is
excited
cool.
to be reading it here and to be cracking open this amazing X-Men Essentials that I picked up at my local Planet X. There you go. In
There
Richmond
you
Hill.
go. Shout out
Cheers.
to Planet X. Absolutely. Tomorrow's New Comic Book Day. Go to Planet X, people. You can.
Yes. I don't think I'm going to get there tomorrow. I think I'm going to be on dog duty all day.
I got a few things. I got my notification from my local, the Dragon and Guelph, saying a few things are on order for me to come pick up. So I'm excited.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm excited for you, sir. All right, here we go. One little note before we dive into this issue.
Sure.
Chris and I are going to be sharing the role of Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to read everything simultaneously, one octave apart. Chris reading the high, me reading the low. No, we're going to just go page by page and break it up so that you'll see why if you haven't read this issue before.
Jason will voice Wolverine while I will voice the steam coming out of his pants.
All right. Here we go, Chris. You ready? Stanley presents the Uncanny X-Men. Beyond the farthest star.
Ooh.
And right away off the top, I'm like, what is with the color? It is. I did not expect this. Oh my gosh. But anyway, here we go. I'm Wolverine. I'm a long way from home, and I think I'm dying. That's good news to some. I'm crazy, you see, a berserker, a psycho killer. That's a fact, not truth. Oh, sorry, that's fact, not truth. The whole truth, anyway. I'm Canadian, ex-Secret Service, mutant, X-Man. I'm a warrior. I'm on the run, but I'm used to that. The important thing is, I'm free. Jungle's alien, like this whole flaming planet. Too many unknown scents, sights, sounds. Normally, I'd sort them all out, no sweat. But I've been trying. But I can't. My brain's overloaded. You can't handle the sensory input. I can't get my bearings. So, I keep moving and hope things get better. Fat chance.
Pain. Again. Getting worse each time. Feels like I'm being gutted by a white-hot blade. Gripes! Sucker gasses me, then tries to crush me. Mistake. My skeleton's laced with adamantium, the strongest metal known, and my bones don't break. I have claws, too. Retractable. Housed in my forearms, extended through apertures in my hands. Forged out of the same stuff. And I know how to use them. I win. Big deal. What's happening to me? The colors. It's so bright. Pollen. A hallucinogen. Can't resist its effects. A shake of the head and I'm back in Japan. My second home. Wondering what's real, what's fantasy. Can't tell anymore. I'm drowning. I don't care. By my side is Mariko Yoshida. I love her. She loves me. Life's full of surprises.
You smile, Logan-san.
Merely thinking how incongruous we look. You must admit we're a mismatched pair.
I admit nothing of the sort. You are an honorable man, Logan, with the soul and inner grace of a true samurai. No woman could ask for more. Graydon mentions here, he says, is this after the Wolverine 4-part with Miller? Got a similar vibe on the first page anyway. Most definitely this is afterward. This is, we tried to pretty much read it chronologically. So we placed the Wolverine limited series where there was a bit of a pause in the X-Men, but this is also the time that limited series came out. And this memory, if this is in fact a memory, would happen after the Wolverine limited series, after he's sort of honored himself or, established his honor through his battle with Marika's father, Shingen. Not to spoil for anyone who hasn't read it, but everyone in the chat pretty much has. So that's cool. I think, it would make sense if you're going to take a big financial or publishing risk on a Wolverine limited series that you try out a Wolverine issue first, maybe within X-Men, But this, I think, is the other way around. I think that the Wolverine limited series comes first, and then we get, like he's now a star, and Cockrum at least is on board. But that voice that Claremont writes with is now sort of tried and true, and is pretty much the way Wolverine will speak and think for the rest of his time at Marvel.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
To me, my ex-friends, says Jason Lowe. How are you, Jason? I was just talking about you and possible cosplay for May the 4th. So I'm hoping to see you then and see what Jason Lowe, or also known as Jason L. Prime, what he decides to do, what he's able to figure out.
It sounds like a DJ name.
Well, we were being served by a staff member who was taking names for everybody, and we were seated next to each other, and so it was like, okay, it's Jason, but he's also Jason. So it's Jason L, but he's also Jason L.
Right.
So we decided he's Jason L Prime. It's a big waste of time for me to tell that story. It wasn't funny, but we had a bonding moment, so it was good stuff. All right.
Okay.
That's a fine. Sorry, I got to start that again.
Yeah.
That's a rare, fine compliment, Mariko. I thank you.
It is the truth. If anyone is unworthy, it is I, who lack your strength and courage.
Now who's blowing smoke? You're the bravest woman I know. Oh my God. It's getting late, Mariko. You better head back, yeah? Look, eagles heading our way. Awful big sucker. Something about him doesn't feel quite kosher. I knew Wolverine was Jewish. I knew it all this time. He's both Canadian and Jewish. He's worried about kosher. He's my kin. There's no cover on that ridge. We're perfect targets.
Logan, what?
Head for the tree line. I'll explain later. Ride, Mariko.
You have provided us with a splendid hunt, Terran. But alas, all good things must eventually come to an end. Yeah!
Mariko! Now, before we go further, can you just don't advance the page for a second?
I will not.
So, often on Cartoonist Kayfabe, Jim Rugg talks about color in comics to do things, clearly. Mm-hmm. And on this page, I see some things that sort of follow Jim's, like the boundaries he kind of sets forth about how you mix high contrast and low contrast and warms and cools. So, for instance, the third panel on this page on the right, we've got Logan in that purple, which is the cool, and the sky in the background, everything is in those warms. And it works absolutely perfectly to separate the two planes. One is the up close and one is the far away. And so the depth of field is really established beautifully there. And the up close is established really beautiful. And there's no mixing the two up. Now, if you look over at the top panel on the page on the left, and it's just all a mishmash.
Yes.
We can't tell how far, or we can't as easily tell what is supposed to be far away and what is supposed to be close. Sure, the line art does give us some hints by overlapping things, like that green blob tentacled plant creature on the far left, or those blue streaking, I don't know. Either way, you can just see how if you just make some different color choices, things will pop forward and things will pop backward.
Right. And
you can create a lot of clarity for, where Wolverine really sits in that environment. Just kind of interesting to look at how colors can do so much to create clarity and make things beautiful but also readable. Or not.
Those are the weirdest handlebar looking guns the Brood have, by the way. It's like two hands on it. It's like got a little bit of a...
Yeah, Cockrum has...
So strange.
Has a very particular style with tech. I mean, I've said before he likes to use, but I think when I see his work, he's not like into rulers and templates and things.
Mm-hmm.
That he likes to create organic shapes. But one of the problems with it is they often just look like... they don't feel heavy sometimes. They don't feel...
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But also, when they don't look close enough to a weapon that we recognize, they also don't necessarily reveal their scale or perspective. He really, especially with his ships, I find he really struggles with very, very large scale. And I'll show an example of that later. But yeah, I don't really dig his guns. Anyway, Jason says, my X-Wing pilot suit is arriving tomorrow. Man, I can't wait. I'm so happy for you. It's going to be so much fun.
It does sound so much fun. Here we go. Dream. That was a dream. Please let it be a dream. Brood hunters. They found me.
You see how like the panel is like breaking around his head, like all those white lines.
Yes.
So that's like the break from the dream into
I see, because of
the steadiness.
Right.
It would have worked better if the panels were positioned so you could see them back to back, like going from his imagination. Would you mind going back a page for a sec?
Oh yeah, of course.
And you just look at the panel borders, right? See how they're organic. So then you can go back. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
So as it goes from the dream or the memory, whatever it is, into reality, those shapes break, and Cockrum does that. Or it could be, again, Wiacek is the one doing the finished lines for that. He'd be ruling those out in the end. But those, I'm assuming those notes or those guides are at least in the pencils. So it's kind of neat to see. It's a good strategy if you have the things back to back. But when you don't have them back to back,
well,
I'm not sure if it works as well.
I didn't notice it until you brought it up. But you're right. If you have it, say, on the preceding page going from, say, left to right, you'll probably pick up on it easier.
And of course, it is there on page 2 of the story. Like as he goes from dealing with the pollen hallucinogen, he has the hard edges, then it does go into the amorphic shapes. So it does work going in, coming out. We just needed them maybe to be next to each other. But either way, it's a good strategy. I like that.
Yeah.
Fool! Did you really think we would not? You are one of us, Wolverine. No one can help you, and nothing can save you.
Their blasters are set for stun. I caught a shot lock not long ago. I'd rather be dead. The undergrowth works in my favor. It slows the hunters down, cripples their maneuverability. This is their turf. They know it. I don't.
To me, my brothers, I have him.
Hate to tell you, bub, those come under the heading of famous last words.
Did you hear, by the way, the game yesterday that there was one of the I forget who it was, one of the Lightning players was being interviewed between periods 2 and 3?
No.
And he basically said that, we're kind of doing the right thing. We kind of got these guys where we want them. And
yeah, it was Hagel, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Hagel.
Yeah.
And he just famous last words. Yeah, like this is going right.
Yeah, everything's going great, guys.
4-1, buddy.
Playing our game. Yeah.
Yep.
Sleazoids, the brood, are fast and strong, as agile on the ground as in the air. Their skin is a virtual armor plate. Their teeth are razor sharp, and their tail stingers are loaded with venom. Killing comes natural to them, and they refine it to an art. No deadlier beings exist in the universe.
Like that panel, it's all worms. You know what I mean? Like these ones too.
Bottom, yeah.
So I'm not saying you need to change necessarily. I don't know if they would actually be better, but maybe it would be better if something was a cool, and maybe not just that default yellow background. Like I don't know. Maybe. Someone else got to try it. I do have the black and whites here, and I could really take my crayons and play, but who knows?
Except maybe me. The hunter's call brings his buddies on the double. After that, things get interesting. I'm holding my own, and better, when without warning. The ground beneath me. The ground collapsing beneath me. I'm falling.
I'm so glad Claremont writes that. Like, he does write too much, for sure. But like the drawing does it for you. You can see he's falling. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, my brood friends. Exactly. Color in Wolverine's pants for crying out loud. Yeah, I think these are the remnants of the outfit he wore to dinner.
Intergalactic Shi'ar threads.
But yet his gloves still have the housings
Yeah. Oh,
for
always.
his claws, which yeah, they can customize. No big deal.
No big deal.
No
It's
big deal.
Shi'ar. No big deal.
The stun bolt clips me on the way down. By the time I recover, I'm moving too fast to stop myself, but I try all the same. You never know. A body might get lucky. Something might work. Wrong. Like I said, I'm a mutant. My body has the ability to heal itself fast. I can survive almost any physical trauma, but a tumble from this height may be a bit much, even for me. What in the flamin'? I hit hard. There's a split second of incredible pain. Then, oblivion.
Okay.
So this is what I was going to mention before about scale. Okay,
Right.
the drawing's fine, all good. You know, no
Mhm.
problem there. I'm not going to talk about the coloring because I already talked about it a little bit. But there's nothing in the foreground. So
Yeah.
this is where you could put maybe some flora or fauna in the foreground that we would recognize for scale, that would then showcase how massively big this is in the background. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Instead of having the info box.
Well, you could have it even behind the info box.
Yeah.
You could have some silhouetted things that just like flowers, for instance, in silhouette or blades of grass that then would suggest this is way back behind it. Like you need to have layers of depth to get us to understand that this is a big object or a big setting, you
But-
know?
Totally. I will say though, I mean, when I first saw this spread, I thought it was pretty cool looking. And I will say that when Cockrum goes cosmic, I think generally he's stronger.
Sure.
You know, or fantastical. I seem to enjoy his art more, his style more, and maybe even
Sure.
talk about like maybe him being a product or him wanting to, you know, maybe 10 years earlier kind of thing, right? Of the kind of sci-fi space operas that were happening, you know, at that time. So anyway, I found this issue in particular just a kind of a pleasant, more pleasant generally on the art, just because I think he's just more comfortable. I think he enjoys drawing this kind of stuff.
Right. I think he does too.
Yeah.
The other minor note is like the idea of your brushwork. Now it seems like Wiacek is heavy on the brushes. So there's a lot of thick lines, but like those little cities that are inside the bubbles.
Yeah.
If you use a pen in something that's really, really far away or thinner lines, it makes the object look like it's even smaller, as opposed to a very small city sitting in a bubble that's up close. Does that make sense? Like a heavier line can give the impression that the object is closer, and a thinner line can give the sense that the object is further away. So when you use a pen instead of a brush comes off thicker and more lush. Like if you use pen lines for that great distance, it can make it feel like those things are really far away and
Right.
and don't have a lot of like that they've faded into the background. Anyway, I will give credit for the colors of like the ribs that are close are that magenta, and the ribs
Yeah.
that are far are like less saturated, and that really does work.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I would have loved something in the foreground. Graydon says, but what about the panel that we zoom in on? At least it's a sense of scale there, I suppose. But feels hacky.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a technique. Like you can do that, and you can say, you know, here we're going to zoom in. But what if there was a solution that was more elegant? It's a very direct solution.
We're all about.
I just keep thinking, like, what would Frank Quietly do? How would he handle this? How would you want to see a scale from this time period? Go check out Mobius. What Mobius does in heavy metal, and you'll see enormous scale done at an incredibly sophisticated level. But yeah, he had more time, so that's just, and he was way better, so it's kind of not fair. All right, dude, I'll stop on this.
Later, I'm alive. I've ditched the hunters. Things could be worse. It's a feeble joke. I don't laugh. When you're condemned to hell, does it really matter whether the flames that burn you are 1,000,000 degrees hot or 1,000,000,000? Either way, it hurts. Okay, I survived. Hooray for me. That's the least of my problems. In the jungle at night, I never got a decent look at where I was. Dawn changes that. The sight takes my breath away. A skeleton stretching farther than the eye can see, well over the horizon, its ribs reaching above the breathable planetary atmosphere. This had been one of the Brood's living starships, a sentient being enslaved, lobotomized, consumed by the winged parasites. It had died here ages ago, and the Brood had made use of its carcass as they had its body. While it lived, the natural flora and fauna of this world were trying to claim it, as they would any corpse, through the natural process of decay. But it was too big. Eternity wouldn't be long enough to crumble it to dust.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very
Pretty
philosophical. Wolverine's getting here.
So when we read this issue, it rang a bell with me with the animated series, and there is, I guess maybe we'll talk about it at the end. But episode 19 of season 3 was very reminiscent of the Brood, including the starship, and so we'll talk about that in a bit too.
Okay.
So those of you who know the animated series well, maybe you can chime in and either agree with me or disagree or contribute in some way. We'll get there. If by our strategy, by the way, that you're reading, I'm reading Wolverine every other page, and as are you, then the non-Wolverine characters now are you.
They are. Okay, cool. Huntmaster, should we pursue? To what end, novice? If the fall did not terminate our prey, the scavengers will. But he hosts the queen. The great mother will surely desire confirmation of his death. The way is open, novice. Wolverine's trail easy to follow. You may do so if you wish. We will convey our condolences to your progeny. I am not afraid, Huntmaster. The ignorant rarely are. Sacrifice your life if you wish. We'll return to base.
I hear movement. Feel vibrations on the web. I can guess what that means. The web spinners are coming to investigate their catch. I'm glued in place. Shouldn't be too much to handle, though. I've got some freedom of movement. I'll pop my claws and cut myself loose. Wish my head would clear. It's muzzy.
It says muzzy.
It's muzzy, like a Jake Muzzin.
What is muzzy? Fuzzy. I understand, but muzzy? Is that a word that you've ever used before or heard this context?
Is it another Claremont use of language that we've never seen before?
It's muzzy.
I don't know, but I'm going to just continue.
It's muzzy. It's an effort to think. And now it's pounded fit to bust. No, not again. Not here. I blink. And the web becomes the starship Shi'ar, personal yacht of Lilandra, Empress of the Shi'ar. The X-Men had rescued her from the Brood, foiled a coup d'etat against her led by her renegade sister Deathbird, and in the process, saved Earth from destruction.
To show her appreciation, Lil is Lilandra. Lil invited us aboard her yacht for a banquet, the yacht I talked about last page. Part celebration, part farewell. She was returning home and wanted to thank us. Me, Carol Andrews, remember she's hanging out with us still. Cyclops, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Kitty Pryde. Colossus wasn't really in the mood for a party on account of his sister Liliana. Petey, what's done is done. Moping won't change anything. Certainly won't make Liliana a child again.
I know, Wolverine,
You got it.
but it is a hard reality to face.
Okay, Count Dracula.
Sorry. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I can repeat a Russian thing back. Like if there was a line that I heard, I can do it right back. But man, if I'm reading on my own, it goes Dracula. I can't help it. Sorry.
All right. You're good.
Much about our battle with the demon lord Belasco is difficult to cope with, not the least of which was my confrontation with my older self.
That storm was a sorceress. She said half my heritage was bound in the arts arcane. But how? I'm a mutant, not a magician. Could I truly possess such talents?
Suddenly, I guess, yeah.
Behold, fools! The Landra Magistrix Shi'ar is no more. Long live the new empress. Me! Deathbird!
A trap. We tried to react. The stasis bomb ended the fight as soon as it had begun. I want to say, like, when he's remembering the line that Deathbird comes in, it's like, long live the new empress. Or like, huh? Who? She's like, me! Oh, right, you. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Graydon says he's used Muzzy. From Google, unable to think clearly, confused.
Okay.
There you go.
It's a good name for a song. Feeling Muzzy.
Yes.
It's like a Wilco B-side. Feeling Muzzy. Anyway.
I came awake in pieces. A sense of self-awareness, scrambled, confused. Followed by a jumble of gobbledygook sounds. I was flooded by a multitude of scents. They made me sick. Last came sight, blurred, bizarre images shot through with blinding flashes of color. Nothing made sense. Then, as I struggled to regain my psychic balance, everything clicked into focus. Sleazoids. The Brood were their prisoners. The others didn't seem to mind. They were enjoying themselves. An instant later, I saw why.
Welcome, honored heroes, to the throne world of the Shi'ar. This affair is but a small token of our gratitude.
My intellect accepted this as reality. My senses screamed fantasy. Normally, I trust my instincts every time, but I couldn't keep my bearings. One thought contradicted another, and the harder I tried to sort things out, the more disoriented I became.
Care to dance, Logan? Hey, are you all right?
Carol, something screwy. This isn't what it seems. We're being conned, set up.
Sure we are, Wolvie. I think you're getting paranoid in your old age. Relax, have fun, enjoy the party. I do love the scale, by the way. She is so much bigger than he is.
For sure.
I know he's, often drawn shorter, but like when you if she's in her Captain Marvel garb, it's even much more powerful, right? Like,
sure.
Looking down on him, love it.
David Cutler says, I'm imagining Cockrum hoping that Shi'ar onesie taking off as Wolverine's new look. I wouldn't be surprised. Popped collar, plunging neck, opera gloves, all the Cockrum hallmarks, just missing thigh-high boots. And on the same theme, where's the Marvel Legends fig for that, Wolvie? Says Jason Lowe.
It's coming. I guarantee you it's coming.
There's another cool one, actually, realistically speaking, there's another cool one in this issue that might be a neat Wolverine, at least a Wolverine custom. And I bet you someone made it already.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Pardon our intrusion, warriors, but we understand that your physiology, Carol Danvers, is dissimilar to that of your comrades. Might we take a look inside that dress of yours? I'm not a mutant, if that's what you mean. Precisely. Oh, that's exactly what I meant. I didn't talk about anything else. Our preliminary data scans on you are most intriguing. My colleague and I would like to examine you further. Now? Okay.
Carol, they're sleazoids.
No kidding.
Yeah, right? Carol, this is crazy. Those winged clowns are sleazoids. Man, I love how they just double down of, like, he calls them sleazoids about 10 times this comic. Fight him, Carol. It's a trick.
Stop trying to make sleazoids a thing.
Yes, right. They really tried to make sleazoids a thing. No good. She's acting like everything's normal. What's happening to me? Have I finally flipped out?
Wolverine, what's wrong? Why did you call out like that to Carol?
Storm, guys, didn't you see? No, I guess not. I guess it's all in my mind. The others were very nice, considerate, concerned. I brushed them away. I was so scared. I could barely keep from shaking. I thought I put the dark times behind me. They were taken before Lil for our awards. Beside her on the dais? Beside
Yeah,
her
dais or dais.
dais,
Yeah.
was a tall, weird-looking doll. At first sight, I went ice cold. I think she's supernaturally calm. Supernally?
Yeah, supernally.
Supernally calm. I'm using words I've never used before. My automatic reaction to a combat situation. We are in danger. Why was I the only one who noticed?
Look at that picture, man. His face, poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
She greeted each of us in turn with a fond embrace. The ceremony went without a hitch
No.
until it was Kitty's turn.
Come unto me, child. There is naught to fear. No, you're not real. This isn't possible. X-Men, help me. I can't phase. Don't let her get me. Logan!
The kid struggled to no avail. I heard her screams, wanted to act, but I couldn't. Some power held me fast.
Hush, small one. Look into my eyes. Hear my voice. Am I truly so terrible to behold? No, please don't. Daughter, it is done.
It was my turn. I was the bird. She, the cobra.
Oh, yeah.
I knew she was deaf. And worse, I knew I had to escape, stop her, somehow. I was close. We were alone on the dais. I could use my claws, but I did nothing. And then it was too late. Sporch.
Ah! Licked my chest. Quick lick in my chest.
Oh, you wish that was a lick. It's like not a lick.
It's not a lick. No.
It's not a lick.
It's a penetration. My scream wakes me. Memories washing through me like a scummy tide. Shame triggers rage. I need an outlet for that rage. I get one. Scavengers looking for lunch, and they find a bit more than they bargained for.
What about some sleazoids?
How about some sleazoids?
And by the way, Scummy Tide is the new brand being launched by Tide.
Hey,
For those really, really disgusting, just those stains that you can't tell your spouse about.
scummy tide.
Gummy Tide.
Scummy tide.
Did you crap your pants today? I can't talk about it. Did you get more of that Scummy Tide?
Just please tell me you picked up more scummy tide.
I let my berserker mood. Berserker mood?
Yeah.
I'm full of berserker mood.
He's in a
It's
mood.
Rage, man. Berserker rage. I let my berserker mood sweep me along. The X-Men have never seen me like this. Part of me hopes they never will. I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice, which is why I endorse Scummy Tide. Soon, though, my rage and its adrenaline high begin to fade. My cue to make my exit. The scavs have lost interest in me.
So that's interesting. Just that line there about adrenaline high. I know my previous understanding of Wolverine's berserker rages. I know they didn't last forever, but it's interesting that they qualify it in this. He's like, I've got actually, like, the adrenaline high wears off. Like, it's only a berserker rage for so long. Like, there's maybe 45 seconds a minute, whatever the heck it is. But I just thought it was interesting, like a qualifier, because anyway. Yeah.
Remember, this wasn't a berserker rage. This was a berserker mood.
Oh, you're right. So there's a mood.
The mood only lasts 45 seconds. The rage goes on at least 2.5 minutes.
At least.
Yeah, you got to check your Marvel handbook for that.
The scavs have lost interest in me. As a meal, I'm not worth the effort, especially when they can turn on their own wounded and dead. Cute. Which way now? Up, I think. The sleazoids prefer the heights, as far from the planetary surface and this jungle as they can get. Interesting. The hunters didn't follow me when I fell. You must be pretty wary of the jungle and its predators. If we can turn that fear to our advantage. I wasn't badly hurt in the fight. That doesn't really matter. I feel lousy. My moves are slow, my grip weak. Things get worse. My nerves are on fire. The slightest move is agony. Still, I push on. Stubborn. Stupid. I stop for a rest, and I realize I've reached the end of the road. I'm gasping. Each breath causes unbearable pain. When an animal knows its time has come, it quits fighting. It literally lies down and dies. I hope it doesn't take too long.
Oof. Oof.
Careful, Wolverine's in a mood, Graydon says.
Got his mood.
Credit where credit is due. That big panel is badass.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is badass.
Yes, sir.
Last night I woke. That was the first attack, and it was a beaut, leaving me breathless, soaked with sweat, shaking, scared. My mind was clear. The muzziness gone. Memory told me I was in my room in Lalander's palace on the Shi'ar throne world. Glanced through the window, shot that belief to blazes. Storm, wake up. We got trouble.
Logan, what is it?
Darling, you won't believe it. She didn't.
You've been behaving strangely ever since our arrival. You're in obvious pain now. You're ill, Wolverine. That's all. Let me summon a physician.
A nerve pinch stopped her, KO'd her. Couldn't afford discovery as I figure out what was going on. She dismissed my story out of hand. That's way out of character. The sleazoids must be affecting our perceptions. Keep us in line. Looks like for this caper, I'm on my own. Gotta rob that bank.
I made one stop before I left. Kitty's room. Yikes. Kid she may be, but she's proved time and again she's got more guts and smarts than most adults, than most heroes. I remember her struggling in the throne room, and how all I did was watch. What had been done to us? Why was I so sick, and none of the others? I wanted to take the kid with me, but I'd be moving hard and fast, and playing rough. I couldn't guarantee her survival. For now, she was better off where she was. And I'm sorry, kiddo. But don't fret. I'll be back. We'll get out of this mess and come home safe and sound. You got my word. The promise sounded hollow. Suddenly an image flashed through my mind. Kitty cradled in my arms. My right hand lying below her breastbone. The staccato click of claws extending, retracting, the light fading from her eyes. What had been done to us to make me think such things? Elsewhere in the palace, I found the answer. A cadre of sleazoids had gathered for a ceremony. The object of their attention was an old foe of the X-Men, a renegade member of the Landra's Imperial Guard, Fang. I grinned. Serve the sucker right if the BROOD, for whom he worked to overthrow Lil, were going to reward his treachery with torture or execution. He was pleading. They were laughing. Surprisingly, I understood their language. Fang's body began to smoke. He shrieked. I stopped grinning.
Well, I think it's you, isn't it?
Pardon me.
Why? Why are you doing this? My mistress, Deathbird, is your ally. The Brood needs no allies, Outworlder. There are only enemies and slaves. We used Deathbird, as we now use you.
The embryo of a warrior prime was implanted within you. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
You go ahead.
Okay.
But just do a different voice.
That egg has now reached maturity. It is hatching. It will consume you, Fang, transform you, and in the process, absorb the totality of your memories, your abilities, and your genetic potential. Farewell, ally. You gave your life for the noblest of reasons, that one of the Brood might be born. The pieces fell into place. Ceremony in the throne room finally made sense. We've been infected too, made hosts for their queen's eggs. What happened to Fang? What happened to us? No!
An intruder! One of the X-Men! Seize him!
Oh, I thought you were going to be like the last guy saying, like, seize him. You know, just like a straight, normal voice. Come on, Dave, go get him. All right.
The chase
was on.
You got it.
That's a cool transformation, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good page.
That's a cool page. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for Fang, considering, but it is kind of funny given that Wolverine beat the crap out of him and took his clothes. That was funny. Is that the X-Men, the Marvel Legend you're thinking of? Wolverine as Fang?
No, but that is a good one too.
It's a good one too, right?
I like that drawing where he yells no. I think it's a good face.
Yeah, soul face.
I like the idea that they burn as they transform, like their skin boils or whatever. It does look excruciating. I think they did as a team, they did a really good job conveying that.
Mm-hmm.
And see how his thoughts go back into solid panels again.
That top left corner, yeah.
Though this one is done pretty haphazardly. It looks like it was done with correction, like after the fact. Even this really highly defined line art version I've got here, I can see like the pencil lines around those cloud shapes. It is not well done. Like, it's not a good job of fixing it. I wonder if they did that like after the ink had already done. They had to add. They did like a correction editorially. Anyway, even if we escape, what's the point? Perhaps an antidote, a cure exists. But if one doesn't, I want to quit. It'd be easy to quit, but I can't. I'm not an animal. I'm a man. I'm an X-Man. I'm still alive. I'm going to fight to stay that way. I may lose, but I'll Corey Hart this. I'll never surrender.
Nice.
That noise! A sleazoid. I recognize the markings. It's the warrior Fang hosted. I like the irony. He's my ticket back into the palace. By skydiving, I can reach him. It's risky. If he hears me and dodges, there's nothing but miles of open air between me and the ground. My kind of gamble. I play it perfectly. The sleazoid is on his first flight, testing his wings, inexperienced, a little overconfident and careless. His mind on other things. He never knows what hits him. Snicked. He tries to impale me on his stingers. I make sure he can't.
Oof.
Oh my god, he cuts the stingers right off.
Right off.
That's brutal.
Right off. I do like this idea of the Brood having some kind of marking from their host. That's kind of a cool thing. And it's obviously it's a good story thing because you can then differentiate the characters. It's good. But
Exactly.
That's all she wrote, bub. Cooperate or I'll gut you. I'm not bluffing. He knows it. He does as he's told, confident. He tells me that he's carried me to certain death.
Your fate is sealed, human.
So's yours, if you don't shut up. Then another attack. The worst yet. So much pain hitting so fast, I can't even scream. For my prisoner, it's a golden opportunity. He makes the most of it.
Brothers, I present Sorry, a present for you. Wolverine, how nice of you to drop in. Take him, hunters. But if he resists, kill him.
Ooh,
That's totally how a brood sounds, by the way.
totally. I didn't. You know what? The first time I read this, I didn't even realize that he cut off his stingers. I just didn't even think about it. And then it's like,
Sure.
and then if you look at the top right panel of the second page there on the right, it's like basically gooping out of him.
Yep.
Woof.
Speaking of gooping, what's the sound effect of the gooping?
Anyone got a peach I could eat on camera? No, it's fine.
So as they're about to kill Wolverine,
Holy crap!
look at those man thighs.
There's your pinup, eh? There's your
Yeah.
your Conan-esque kind of. You just need like the lady at the feet to complete it.
Yeah.
They do their best.
I do better. I haven't scrapped this much in ages. Makes a pleasant change. But trashing a hunting cadre is one thing. Taking on their entire race is something else. Again, agony, burning, growing within me, corrupting my body, murdering me. I've been wounded, too often to count. Never endured anything to equal this. I hunger for oblivion, anything to take the pain away. But that release is denied me. My flesh begins to smoke. Comprehension and transformation. The metamorphosis has begun. I fight. New thoughts, sensations become familiar. Old ones, aliens, as the egg reaches into my mind, reshaping it in her image. As simultaneously, she tries to reshape my body. My skeleton is adamantium. Her power can't affect it. I use that as an anchor, a lifeline, and make a final, convulsive, all or nothing effort. It's a toss-up which of us screams the loudest and which of us dies.
I love that idea that he, like, knowing his body's about to morph, like just totally get shifted. He just focuses on the one thing that won't move. My skeleton will not change. Like, let's just brace against that and push.
Yeah. This is really cool. I like all of this.
Me too.
It's great. He does look very He-Man-y on that page, though. That's fun.
Definitely.
Very He-Man-y.
Sunrise. Another night has passed. You lose, Queenie. I'm alive. Your kid isn't. My mutant immune system saved me. The egg was alien, a parasite, so my body automatically reacted to it as a disease. That was why I was so sick. Side effects of my body's struggle to expunge the invader. And what? And it's to survive. Is there a word missing there?
Must be. And it's will maybe to survive.
Yeah. And it's, it's struggle to expunge the invader and to survive.
But although it never gained more than a toehold, the egg put up a hell of a fight. I almost lost, and the strain flaming near killed me. I can see the palace. Imagine the X-Men hypnotized and happy within. They're infected too. Only I can't save them the way I did myself. For all I know, I may already be too late. Their metamorphosis may have already taken place. I remember my hallucination about killing Kitty. If I had to, if she can't be cured, I'll do it. I'll kill them all, my friends. Then it'll be the Sleazoid's turn. Next, rescue mission.
Oof.
And I kind of want all of them to die, so he has to kill them all. Or all of them to turn, so he has to kill them all, and then kill all the Sleazoids. Like, that's a whole nother, anti-hero movie.
Right.
These aliens forced all my friends to be turned into monsters, so I had to put them all down, and then I got to come kill all of you. It's awesome.
That is awesome. I do kind of like, I mean, the incorporation of the Brood look on his body, I guess, as it's kind of cool. And we've seen this before, right? This is the Hellfire Club all over again, right? Where he's last man standing, right? Last man standing.
Totally.
And he's
the one difference with this one, though, I mean, one of the many differences is that we're with him on his journey to survive as the last man standing.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, we're along the ride with the X-Men, you know, and we don't see what happens to him in his battle until sort of we've forgotten about him.
Yeah.
I love the idea of this, like whether it's, you know, the episode of the TV show or whatever it might be, where the hero isn't sure of what is their reality, and it's like the dream and the nightmare are, you know, like you wake into the nightmare and then you live in the dream. So you have this, you know, fantasy life he's living where he's, you know, going to this party and they're giving these awards and, you know, there's a queen presenting them with stuff. And he's like, wait, hold on. Is this the dream or is the other one, is the nightmare of the real life? And he doesn't know what's what. And I like that as a plot and as a plot device for communicating like these two things. I feel like it could have been even more. Like you could have, I realize maybe I'm getting a little ahead of the time period. And I feel like maybe a writer in the later 80s might have taken more time to do like a 2-issue where you're with him in the nightmare of being in the jungle, being hunted, and you don't know that it's the reality. And you don't know what's what, like keep the reader disoriented until the very end where it's like he realizes, oh no, I'm alive in the nightmare. And the thing that I thought was the reality is actually the problem, which is a mix of a memory and a hallucination. Like you could pull those out, and then at this point, it's like no, he kind of becomes fully conscious. It might have been an equally or a different cliffhanger. This one's not bad either. But this is the Marvel Legend I was talking about, like naked Wolverine, but half Brood.
Half Brood, or as our friend Jason puts it, it's clobbering time.
It is, man. He's going to go. That's right. It looks like the Thing. Good point.
Totally looks like the Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. He's a thinged out Wolverine.
Yeah, this made me, I mean, not all issues, but this issue, and I think, you know, David also mentions a little bit like the issue is really like introducing the miniseries Wolverine as the main title. It does feel like this is like the start of something where I just want to read the next issue. Like, what's
I want to read it right now for sure.
I want to read it right now. Yeah, and that hasn't happened for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Not since they fought Dracula did I want to see what would happen next. Yeah, it is good that works, right? And this creates another piece of the rotation of X-Men storylines. We've talked about this before, you and I, like the Magneto one and the Sentinels one, the Savage Land one. You know, each writer and artist team kind of want to do a Brood story. It's now it becomes part of it where, you know, one of them gets infected and, you know, it spreads across the school or you know, through Genosha or whatever it might be, and then they have to deal with it. It's like same with like a Star Trek kind of storyline where someone on the ship gets infected. And
isn't there, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there a Brood storyline right now? And maybe David and Jason might know better, but I thought maybe I've seen something or one's coming up or something where the Brood. Maybe I also wouldn't. I don't know, but there is a Brood.
I wouldn't trust David or Jason.
Fair enough. Yeah,
they might be infected.
Oh, good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're exposed to X-Men and editors, and you know, so who knows? Like they have a conflict of interest. They might want to lure you towards a vulnerable state so you can get infected too. So I wouldn't trust them. David says, yeah, there is, which makes me think he's a sleazoid.
Because he's a sleazoid. Yeah.
I ain't falling for that, David.
So did you read this first letter in the X-Mail?
Yes, I did.
Louise, Chris, and Dave. Why? From Philip in Oregon.
Why not?
Exactly. And Jason says, yep, crosses over with Captain Marvel. There you go.
Gotcha.
They're both affected.
Does I don't know if anyone's actually read it or is reading it, but does it pay mention to the fact that she is right now in like her first connection to the Brood is through this? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I had a run in with the Brood a while ago. I don't know. Because she's there, right? She's a comic, Captain Marvel.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Very funny. So, okay, now on to the cartoon. So, episode 19 of season 3, I think it's called Love in Vain. And it features a green alien ship. Sorry, a green alien race that crash lands. They fly in a giant space whale also.
Oh, okay.
And they want to like infect and transform the X-Men as host bodies, but it feels almost when you watch it, it feels as if the producers of the show were aware that the Brood as they are here are not as marketable as a toy, being that they're kind of one color and they're very much like the aliens from Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
And so they on the show they're green and they have a metal, sort of like metal armor around their torso with some guns and arm tentacles and things. So they're much more.
I think I remember that one.
And they infect Wolverine, and he goes off into the cave to like battle it up, to shake it off, and he has that inner monologue where he's mid-transformation and he heals himself through the same kind of process. So there were a lot of like these little nods. It was definitely the same source material as this.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Just the images. Oh, 100%. Like
right.
Yeah. Okay. So that was
David says it's one of the worst episodes. I'm not sure if it's a marketing thing or what can we get away with on the Saturday morning thing. Yeah, well, the other crux of the story is like this whole. There's a human being that wants to marry Rogue, and he betrays the X-Men to get Rogue to lose her powers. They can be together. It's they muddle the story up with a huge mess. But just the idea that there is a tentacle-based alien race that comes in a whale ship, and they can convert you to their species, like that whole thing. There's a one-to-one connection there,
I believe the human's name is Cody Robbins.
Yeah, it definitely is it's a terrible episode, but yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Huh.
Very exciting, sir.
Very cool.
There we are. Cool. So TCAF this weekend.
Yes.
Pretty crazy. What time are you coming in on Saturday?
I don't know. We're gonna do our breakfast.
Do you want to go for breakfast on Saturday morning?
I always want to go for breakfast.
Do you want to meet at United again, or do you want to go something downtown so we're near?
Either one. Was there a good I'm trying to think of a place down there that's
I'm sure we can think of something at breakfast spot.
Yeah.
It'll cost us, but it'll be worth it.
Perfect.
So maybe we meet near Cumberland or something again, and we'll go for breakfast.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out.
Beautiful.
I'm down for that, and I'm really looking forward to running into lots of our friends at Toronto Comic Arts Festival at the Toronto Reference Library at Yonge and Davenport. Is that where it is? Ish. Yonge and Bloor.
Yeah, Yonge and Bloor is probably.
But I'm also really excited to see the things that we don't know about yet. Every time we go, if we kind of go in with the mindset of let's just see who makes something cool that, I kind of want to
totally
pick this up and dive into it for the first time. I mean, that's how I was introduced to Pitiful Human Lizard by Jason Lowe. Saw it on the table, and I believe Jason did the pitch, told us what it was. And I was like, this is exactly what I wish someone would have made.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping we can meet some people who have made some cool things like that. Is there anyone that you haven't met that is tabling that you want to see their stuff?
I've just seen. I'm just excited to see friends. Actually, at the moment, there's a lot of folks who we know, including some of this chat. It'd be nice to hang out and see them in person always. I don't think I've come across. I'm trying to think now. I think I have to take a look again at the guest list who's exhibiting. But a lot of our regular hangs are there, so that'll be fun just to kind of reconnect. How about you?
Okay. I'm hoping that we get to at least just say hello to some of the people we met at SPX.
Oh, I was going to say we got to stop by the Fantagraphics table.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, they're all there, by the way. Like the entire crew. They're just repeating SPX.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that's nice.
You and I have talked about. I mean, preferably, Leafs win on Thursday night. Series is done.
Yeah.
Thus, opening up Saturday night. So, if the Leafs win on Thursday, what do you want to do Saturday night? You want to leave it open, or do you want to? In the past, you and I would go see a Marvel movie.
I know.
The Marvel movie comes out a week later.
I know. I'm up for whatever, man.
All right, I'll keep it open in mind.
Anthony is saying there's a diner there. Graydon's saying there's a diner there in Yorkville. A little hidden gem on the second floor of the Yorkville building.
Of a Yorkville building. Graydon, quick question. When was the last time you were there? Just out of curiosity. Before COVID or post? We'll figure it out. See what he says.
There you go.
Stop by my table and I'll show you an exciting spoiler.
I love it.
Sleazoid? Is it
a sleazoid?
Is that a sleazoid problem?
Nice.
Oh my goodness. And Anthony says the Captain Marvel issues don't directly reference the storyline, but is even more rewarding to read when you know Carol's history with the BROOD.
Cool.
I imagine.
That's cool.
So, yeah, man. I'm excited for TCAF. And then of course, at the end of next month, I'm headed to Montreal for MCAF, which I can't wait for. Another amazing weekend in Montreal. I'm hoping that one of my BROOD comes with me. I'm trying to twist an arm. It should be a lot of fun. Oh, Graydon says, post-COVID, did a songwriter's breakfast there in October 2022. All right, we'll track it down. Is it like a greasy spoon, Graydon? Oh, no. Jason Lowe, sleazoid. The best part about that is Jason, you are so not a sleazoid. So that's really great that you're being problematic right now. I'm really enjoying it. Chris, so other than heading to our website, which is group7comics.ca, or headed to Crowdfundr to support us there.
Yes.
Anywhere else you want to send people?
No, we got our socials, got our website, we got YouTube channel, Crowdfundr. That's the big one happened.
That's where they're watching this.
Got this one. We got this channel right now. I'm being as meta as possible.
Right.
No, I think that's good. It covers it all.
Okay, so please click like, subscribe to the channel, share if you can. It'd be a really big help. Throw a comment down, whether you're live in the chat, which you are doing, so thank you very much. Or if you're watching this on the replay, tell us what you think of Sleazoids, what you think of the BROOD. If you've ever watched that episode, and if you would love to see a Marvel Legends figure of Wolverine in semi-BROOD form. Graydon says it's Flows. Yeah, man. I remember I used to work at the ROM, so I went to Flows. I went to Flows more than there are hairs on my head. I've been there, a few thousand times. It's I just haven't been there in 15 years. So glad to hear it's still going, and I would love to check it out.
Is the parking still there on Cumberland? At least, you know how we were trying to figure this out. You always get messed up.
Last year, I know one of the parking lots we had been in years before was just level.
Yeah, that was gone.
So,
the one on the other side, but I think the one on Cumberland down towards Avenue.
I forget. We'll look it up after. We'll figure it out. All right, everyone, have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Hopefully, if you're in Toronto, we'll see you at Toronto Comic Arts Festival at TCAF on the weekend. And if not, we'll hopefully see you again in the virtual world and at an event in the near future. Anything else from you, Mr. Sanagan?
No.
All right, then. We'll see you next time. Cheers, and go Leafs go.
Go Leafs go.